Hey, could you start by updating us on your injury situation with Grant and Blake?
Yeah, both those guys will be game time decisions. They've they're evaluated, they're rehabbing, they're doing what they can, but they'll both come down to game time decisions. You know, uh, as much time as feel like has passed, it really kind of hasn't been that much time. So we'll see. Blake's been a little better each day. Hasn't moved great yet, and so we're hoping over the next couple of days something can click. But yeah, we probably won't know until the day of the game.
Does Grant get better, or will that not happen until surgery?
Yeah, I would say that's probably not going to really happen until surgery. I don't think he can necessarily improve, but how much damage is being done to it, and so he's kind of been evaluated a couple of times for that.
Hey, if I could follow up by asking, is given the injury situation, could you take us in the thought process for putting Richmond's name into consideration for the NIT?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I really feel like, it's a national tournament with tremendous history. And we felt like we would love the opportunity and to be able to be part of the tournament. I think that, at this stage of the season, it's obviously teams are banged up and it can be a little bit more difficult. But we thought, or we feel like the NIT is we're honored to be part of it. We didn't want to just say that. We wanted to put ourselves in there and really proud to have been selected.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Chris, given the way your season ended, were you pleased with the reaction from your team when they found out that this was an opportunity?
I was. We had been having workouts toward the end of last week and over the weekend, and the guys had been great. So I wasn't sure if we wanted to practice, and then in case we didn't get in, that might feel like a letdown. But we've had workouts, and the guys were great. I mean, they've attacked the workouts. There was high energy. Guys seemed very fresh. So I think that was another driving force for us that we would love the opportunity to play. Since a little over a year ago, we're sitting in Brooklyn and we lost the opportunity to play, and we lost the opportunity to continue in the postseason. Our first game this year, Detroit, we lost that opportunity to play. St. Louis, we were at shoot around here in the Robins Center on a Friday, and we lost that opportunity to play. So, we really appreciate and savor and look forward to and cherish the opportunity to play. So that is what I have felt throughout. And I think that's really what the last few days our guys have shown us.
Your knowledge of Toledo basketball is more anecdotal and just going on their conference legacy at this point. I imagine you probably haven't gotten to be too much of a deep dive, but what do you know about it?
Yeah, well, it is easier these days, Lane, because, it used to be that you would find out who you're playing and try to do film exchange, and you'd have somebody drive and meet somebody on the state border and exchange film. Now, I mean, it's all of the video is instantaneously available. So, we were able to watch 3 or 4 games today. Really good team. Similar to us, they have 5 starters who average in double figures. Really high-powered offensive team. They make over 10 threes a game and shoot at a very high clip. One guy with over 100 3-points made in this shortened season. Another guy with 85, the conference player of the year, the rookie of the year. They're really good and very explosive offensively. So this will certainly be a tremendous challenge for us.
Hey, Chris, thanks a lot for doing this. Wanted to ask about is there an excitement level around your guys? I mean, just based on the way the season ended with the loss to St. Joe's and then Duquesne, is there kind of an excitement to end on a higher note and get back out there and another chance to prove themselves in addition to that opportunity to play, as you were just talking about?
Yeah, sure. I feel like, we've had a couple of, rough, we've had some rough timing with everything, and certainly with injuries, and those kinds of things, as well as the pauses we've been on. So yeah, I think nobody is pleased or happy with the last couple of games of the season. So yeah, I think, and then I think that all plays into it, wanting to play, wanting to do a little bit better, wanting to compete. I think that's the essence of this, right? And I feel like that all plays into it, and I'm happy our guys have that response to it. An energetic response, a competitive response, rather than hanging our heads. I feel like we probably have some reasons to hang our heads, and our guys have not done that. I think the coaches have not done that, and we just need our opportunity to go out and continue to play, continue to compete.
You had said, not hanging your heads, even though they could have. Was there a little bit of difficulty in that yesterday, watching the field of 68 be unveiled, about, some disappointment from your guys, or have they done a good job at turning the page and not letting that bother them, as 18 to 22-year-old kids would do?
Yeah. We're 48-year-olds, that's, look, Danny and Ryan really wanted to watch it, and I really didn't, but I don't want to steal that opportunity from them. But yeah, look, it's, it shows you how, competitive this undertaking. Louisville is right on there and doesn't get in, mainly because Georgetown goes on and Oregon State win their conference championship. So it just shows you how fragile and how on the edge this trying to accomplish this is. But I do think, you have to get up and go. You have to, we can't change anything that happened in the past or undo the injuries that happened, but we can go in and practice well and compete and play and try to do as well as we possibly can. So, I think that's a hard half hour and the discussion about it for sure. But you have the two choices, and hopefully we're going to take the one with energy and competitiveness.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey,
Coach, maybe
Chris,
if the Spiders-
I have a source that's saying that, I know you say it's a game time decision on Wednesday, but I have a source saying that Grant will be a no-go on Wednesday. Do you have anything to that report? And if true, could he potentially play in a game after that?
Yeah, we're going to decide at the game, and just try to see where we're going. Again, it's more the damage that's being done when he continues to try to play, and so, as he's being evaluated, what that looks like for him, and does that extend his time once once it's over? We wouldn't want to take that away from him, and how the surgery. The simpler the surgery is, the better, would be my understanding of it. That's not a doctor's opinion. And the more complicated it is, the worse. And so we want to put it in a position where it's not as complicated.
Okay. So just to clarify, he is not a no-go Wednesday. He's definitely a game time decision.
Game time decision.
Chris, if the Spiders win on Wednesday, it'll be 8 days till you play again. Presuming you stay in Texas, right? There's no coming back to Richmond for a week.
No, we come back. We would come back to Richmond.
You would come back and then return for the quarterfinals against St. Louis or Mississippi State.
Yes.
Coach Kowalczyk at Toledo has said that this is not the kind of opponent, speaking of Richmond, you really want to play on a one-day prep, essentially, because Richmond's a little different in the way they go about things. Is that part of Richmond's plan, is to be a difficult prep in these sorts of situations?
If that's true, I'm not sure that's all the way true. If that's true, that's not necessarily part of the plan. I think, I could see, more and more teams, I think, play with 5 guys who are playing on the perimeter. And, I don't necessarily, that's certainly not part of the plan, John. I'm sure he meant that in a complimentary way. And I think there's probably some truth to that. Maybe not as much as there used to be. But we'll see. But it's not part of the plan or why we're not trying to be unique or different.
Hey, is there anything new regarding your seniors and decisions to come back or move on?
No, there's not. Again, we're going to talk to those guys at the end of the season. Generally what we've always done is participated in the selection of an agent if a guy has opportunities and a desire to play professionally. And then we'll sit down and talk with the players, their parents, about all of those kinds of things. So we've been in contact obviously with the players and parents, but not specifically about that.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Chris, before you saw your team's reaction onto making the NIT, how much concern did you have on their reaction to possibly, I guess, still having a carryover effect from how they ended the regular season?
Say that. Go ahead. Say that again, please.
In regards to their reaction before you saw the reaction of making the NIT,
right.
how much concern did you have that there was still a negative,
Sure.
A negative reaction to how they ended the season?
Well, the reaction should be negative, and it was negative, but not in terms of, we don't want to play anymore. Just more in terms of, the cumulative effect of last season, the way last season ended, to the pauses and different things we faced this season, to these late injuries. That was really, those were really challenging. And so I think there is a frustration, and the negative feeling comes from that, just that, what we had anticipated and what we had worked for wasn't exactly working out. But I don't get the feeling that it was, and now I'm quitting. You know what I mean? I just get the feeling that it was, difficult frustration and being upset and angry, difficult to get over, but also very willing to play and be back out on the court and be back together in the gym.
And if I could follow up, who amongst the team, I guess, had the strongest voice in saying to the guys, hey, we can still play. We got a chance to win something, win a postseason trophy, by playing in the NIT?
Yeah, I would say all the guys are pretty good that way, but probably Jacob. I think that he is such a. I know you guys haven't been to practices as much recently, but he's such a a great leader in that way, because he has his fingers on the pulse of our team. He knows where everybody is. He knows where people are coming from. He has a great understanding. So I would say probably Jacob, in line with his voice all the time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Sean.
Chris, Littleson is obviously an outstanding shooter. I wonder if you could say a word or two about Jackson, the MAC Player of the Year. Guard obviously gets it done a lot of ways.
Yeah, great player. I think he had 85 threes himself, which is, I think they played 29 games, but that's still a tremendous number. He had 175 or 174 assists, which is a tremendous number. He's really, really a great player. Excellent in transition. He can pull up from, well beyond the 3-point line. He's a great passer. He's strong, a really good finisher around the rim, crafty finisher. And like I said, he's very much, he's a scoring guard who has a really high number of assists. He's a great all-around player, the player there in the conference, and really an impressive all-around player.